What's the best way to keep my pet safe in the car?
There's a couple of things. Let's start with what not to do. So the first thing to do is just let your dog or your cat especially just run around the car. So unrestrained dogs are dangerous. There's actually a lot of states that have laws against having a dog in the driver's lap, but just having them loose in the car, you just don't know exactly what they're going to get into, and they can be a distraction. And if you get into an accident, they become a projectile, which is bad for them and bad for you and bad for everybody. And so don't do that. Letting your dog especially stick their head out the window. I hope I don't have to tell you not to let your cat stick their head out the window, but definitely not your dog. And we see this all the time. We see pictures of dogs and they're happy with their head out the window, but there are things out there that can hurt them and they might jump out, and we can't trust them, so let's avoid that. So don't do that stuff. Let's contain our dog or our cat, okay? And so there's a couple different ways to do that. There are seat belts now. There's kind of these bedding things that they get strapped into. There are harnesses, and I would say that most of the bedding things are sort of harness based. There are harnesses that we can clip into seat belts, for example. Some recent studies have shown that not a lot of these are very good, and that's tough. What am I looking for if I'm looking for a harness setup? I'm looking for a good, thick harness with a short strap that goes to the buckle. That stops, some sort of a tether ball effect, which is awful. And so I'm looking for those things. I'm looking for things that are crash tested. That's what I'm looking for as my best bet for a harness. If nothing else, at least these things keep your pet from running around, jumping around, causing other problems and distractions. So the harness setup is number one. The other is the old-fashioned crate, which actually I kind of like a lot. If I'm going to put my pet in a crate, and obviously we do this with cats, I want to put them in a place where they're going to be safe and secure. I'm not going to put them on the front seat. I'm going to put them ideally behind the seat where they're going to sit down on the floorboards and be safe and secure. For big dogs, they can do crates too, but here's a little trick. The natural thought when we have big dogs and we're going to put them in a crate is that we put them in the back of the car, like the farthest back part of the car. And that seems great because the crate fits there. The problem is this. For human safety, the back of cars is generally made to crumple up like an accordion. And that's made with the idea that the important people are in the front, okay? When my dog is in the back, then that's not true because my dog is important. So if I'm going to put him in the back, I'm going to put him as far forward as possible, and I'm also going to try to secure that crate. So nestle that crate in because I don't want that crate flying around if there's an accident or anything like that. So as far forward as I can and in the most secure location as possible. So those are my best tips for traveling in the car. What else?
What movie title describes the way you dance?
Fast and Furious.